Hello everyone. After having discussed various examples on how to use if, and, or all the three logical formulas, we will see more of their applications. In this current case study, I have a set of dates. Now some may fall on Sunday, some may fall on Wednesday, some may fall on Saturday. What I want is, if any one of the given dates are falling on the weekend, that is Saturday or Sunday, then the message going out in this cell should be the one of holiday. And let's say if the next date is, let's say, Friday, then the message going out in this cell should be simply blank, no message. So how do I make sure this automated answer solution comes up in this given cell? First, let us break down the logic in two halves. One, which helps us find which of the given dates are falling on weekend, and the second is based on that information, whether Saturday or Sunday, the information of holiday, the message of holiday should be coming out. Now, as we had discussed these two formulas in the earlier videos, the text formula, it helps us get the information with respect to month, day and year. So if I double click, you will notice in the text formula, I have chosen the first part as the date value, and the second part as the format of the text, which is representing the three letters of the day. Similarly, weekday, something which we discussed in the date related formulas, it simply asks for the cell which contains the date and it denotes the digit 1, which implies Sunday, 2 Monday, and so on. The 7th would be Saturday. Now the condition is, if the date falls on either Saturday or Sunday, it must be under my attention. Now since it's a case of either or, I will be using the formula or. Let me press the tab key. So it asks various questions. So question number 1, I can use text, I can use weekday. If I use a simplistic one, that's weekday, let's see how to put that formula. So I'm typing in week, but as soon as I type in the first three letters, I get the drop down. So why not take the help of tab key and auto complete the formula? Now what it asks is the date value, the serial number. So I choose that. Now notice this weekday formula will give you answer in digit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What I want to ask is whether the answer is equivalent to 1, whether it is Sunday. But hey, we have just covered Sunday. To be able to cover Saturday, let me put a comma and ask another question. Weekday of this particular date, is that equal to 7? Closing the brackets. So before I press enter, let's quickly look at the logics. I'm asking two questions, whether the weekday is equal to 1 or whether the weekday is equal to 7. If either of these two conditions are met, the answer shall be true. So if I just test it around, let me select all the three cells, double click at the bottom right. So if I notice, yes, row number 13, it has a Saturday and it is denoted by a true. But wait, this is not the end of story. Why? Because I did not want the solution as true or false. I wanted the term holiday. Now to be able to decide on that message, I will be taking the help of if. So I say, let me add if just before the or, if bracket open. So this becomes an integrated logical test under the if statement. One question combined with the help of or. If I put a comma, the next hint tells me what should you do if the question's answer is yes or true. I should declare a holiday. So I put that into double quotation. If it is not the case, that means if it is neither Saturday nor Sunday, then the message going out is simply blank. So I'm putting double quotation twice. That's in place of value if false. Closing the brackets. So before I press enter, let's look at the formula parameters quickly. This forms part of the logical test of if statement. The next portion relates to value if true, and the last one value if false. Enter. So holiday, double click. Okay, there are two holidays. So this was the case of how you combine if statement with or and with some other formula to be able to derive the answer based on your logics. Let me take one more example in the sheet 4. That's the next sheet. This is very, very interesting, and in fact some of you might find relation to works on which you may have already written the formula. Let me expand the scenario. Now what I have in front of me, list of employee names, their salary, division that they work for, and the rating. 1 is good, considered good, and 5 is bad. Okay. Now I would want to give them bonuses based on their ratings. So rating 1 people should be getting 45%, and subsequently rating 5 people based on their performance, that's only 5%. Now imagine if I were to write this logic in if statement, how many questions you would have had to ask? Let's see. Equal to if, tab key. So question number 1, I am applying the formula in the second cell because the first cell already contains the solution. So I'm asking the question, if this cell equal to 1, what must I do? I must give him 45%, that's for rating 1 person. But if it is not so, can I simply tell him that okay, you are supposed to get 35%? No. Why? Because he can have a rating 2, he can have a 3 or a 4 or a 5 rating. So I need to ask one more question, but hey, I do not get the option of logical test under this scenario. So to introduce a question, to introduce a logical test, I must use another if. So here you go, logical test once again. So again you ask the same question, similar question rather, that is the cell containing the rating equal to 2? If it is equal to 2, that is 35%. Same story continues, comma, I need to ask one more question. If the same cell containing the rating equal to 3, then he must be given 25%. Else, ask one more question. If the same cell which contains the rating equal to 4, in which case give him 15%. And if that is also not the case, the only thing left to be said is 5%. So I will be closing the brackets appropriately. Number of brackets closed. So in this case 4 number of brackets, enter. So it is getting displayed as 15% through 0.15. Let me simply change the format, home, percentage. But wouldn't you agree that this is very cumbersome? Especially in a scenario where you might have not just 5 ratings, but let's say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In which case you would have to write 5 more if statements. In total 9 if statements. Now to simplify this, let's take another approach to solve. That is, try to use VLOOKUP. VL, tab key. So please look up for the one rating which is common to both. So I'm looking for rating, that's a common clue, comma. The table array, choosing the entire table and making sure I press function key F4 to lock the range. Now from the given database, if the rating matches, then the answer should be derived from the second column, which is column index number 2. And since this is not a slab, it is actually continuous set of numbers. It's not something like 1, 5, 10 non-continuous numbers. I'll be using false. All this learnings from the VLOOKUP videos in the level 2 section earlier. Let me press the tab key, closing the brackets, enter. So you notice it gives me the same answer, but imagine had this been a case where the rating would have stretched to let's say 10. The formula VLOOKUP, the length would never change. What all you have to do is simply increase the database size, and that's it. So sometimes if verse says VLOOKUP, VLOOKUP wins hands down. So do give it a try. This is a very, very interesting scenario, and you might find such cases where you have certain slabs based on which performance bonuses has to be calculated. So more logical statements, applications in the next video. Till then, keep practicing.